Hi everybody, we're back for the full moon reading in February. It's the 27th, which is a Saturday, and it's in Virgo. So there's always a lot of stuff going on with the sky, not just the moon, right? So the moon has certain things that it's linked to and things that are going on, which gives us an overall for the energy that we'll be working with each full moon. So it's in Virgo this month, and the overall energy with this moon is dealing with or having to make difficult changes. So it can be a little bit heavy, but the energy supports moving with that change positively. And with love and making positive changes or dealing with the changes that we just had kind of dumped on us, whether we wanted them or not, in as positive a manner as we possibly can. So that's the overall energy for what we're dealing with. Now, when you look at Virgo, Virgo is a bit of a perfectionist. And Virgo is also a very feminine, intuitive sign. So, you're working with those energies as well. So as you're moving through your changes, dealing with whatever may be difficult for you in this moment, we can pull that intuition in to help us with our positive change, to help us move with that in a positive manner. So still ourselves, listen, tap in, all those things that we've talked about for it seems like a year now. We're getting close to a year now probably. Use that feminine energy, that intuition to help guide you through whatever it is that you might be changing, you might be focusing on, or whatever just up and changed on you that now you're having to roll with and deal with. Things like the home will probably come into focus. Your home, your relationships, your intimate relationships, the ones that really matter. Not the minuscule ones, but your family, your friends, the people that you're close to. If you're in a relationship, in a romantic relationship, that will probably come into focus. And of course, the energy really wants us to balance those things out. So, if we're in relationships that we feel like we haven't been paying a lot of attention to or feeding in a positive manner, those are things that we can look at and focus on. If we're in relationships where we feel like we haven't been fed in a positive manner, those are also things that we can look at. But really trying to create that balance and that harmony within our relationships. The other thing that, you might be feeling during the energy of this moon is you might be conflicted. You might be kind of weighing things back and forth, like, just the opposites of things. So for instance, feeling conflicted with how much energy you're given to work versus home, your belief in science versus spirituality or religion, your belief in freedom versus oppression, and duty versus fun and excitement. And you just might be feeling a little conflicted in all of those areas, trying to figure out where to dedicate what time and what you believe and what you feel. I think I mentioned in the last reading, I really think that this year, this 5-year that we're in, because we're in numerology, this is an overall universal 5-year, that this is going to be a year that we really get to know ourselves. Last year, we learned a little bit about ourselves, and we're asked to consistently, balance things out in our life and make positive change and really look at ourselves and what we're wanting. And I think this year we're going to really step that up a notch and really start to honestly really get to know ourselves in ways that we hadn't even thought of before, who we really are. So there will be a lot of that conflict, like, do I really feel this way? Or is that just what I was taught to feel? Or taught to think I feel? Do I really believe in this? Or do I, am I more prone to really want to believe in this? And those types of things. Those things will come up as we kind of assess ourselves this year in this universal 5-year of constant change. We really grow through change, and it's a universal 5-year. And as I've said before, this would be a great year to learn some numerology so that you can figure out your own personal year and how that reacts with the overall universal energy, and look into some astrology. There's so many interesting things happening this year astrologically. It's just such an interesting time to be alive. We've come into the Aquarian age, which is the most healing sign in the zodiac. And of course, with healing, there has to be the change, because we have to look at things in order to heal things. We have to really look at things, feel things, touch things in order to make positive change. So in order to heal, we're going to probably at first see the chaos within ourselves and everyone and everything around us. It's just going to spread out. But it's a really interesting time to be alive. It really is. And it's a great year to delve into some of those things if you've never done that before. Like I said, I really believe God writes letters to us in the sky and gives us messages through numbers, and it's just a great year to look into some of those things for yourself. All right, so let's pull the first card, okay? So with the first card, it's a beautiful card. It's the Wands, and it really is about creating something beautiful. So if you look, it's upside down. So that means that that's what we're feeling inside, right? Inside, deep down, we really just want to create something beautiful. We really do. There's been a lot of chaos. There's been a lot of change. There's been, we're being held back in many ways, oppressed in many ways right now. And in each one of us, we really just want to create something simple and beautiful. And you can see that in this card. It's the Wands, and the simplicity of the home behind these two that are gazing lovingly into each other's eyes, right? Holding hands lovingly, entwined with something beautiful, holding them together. And that's really what most of us want. We want something beautiful in our lives. Something, a lot of us think that we're looking for all of these things. And things, the more you get, you still realize you feel empty. So things don't really cut it, do they? And we can have all these beautiful things. And what does it mean if we don't feel as though our life is full and peaceful and in harmony and balanced and happy and loving? It doesn't mean anything. We can have as much money and things as you could possibly have ever dreamt and still not be happy. But creating something beautiful within yourself, within your family, within your life, something simple and beautiful, that's really what we're wanting. And these are the things that we're probably going to be reflecting on a lot right now with this full moon, because as I said, those energies are supported with what's going on right now and supports that positive change and giving something more of ourselves to really flourish those relationships and our home and our lives to make it beautiful. Really learning to give of ourselves in a way that it doesn't exhaust us, where we're not just giving, but in a way that fills us, building something beautiful. So that's the wands. That's the journey, right? That's the journey. It's what we're wanting. And we can do that. We all have the power to make our lives beautiful and to feel that. But we have to, there's usually a little work to it. There's usually a little work to all of that. But putting the work in is rewarding. When we don't put the work into ourselves and into our relationships and into our home, into those things that really matter at the end of the day, the people that we love and our safe and sacred space, how fulfilling is it if we don't give, of ourselves in those areas that really, really matter, those things that really fill us up. Often we're forced to put all of our time into, a job that doesn't love you, or energy into things that don't really matter because it's expected or we feel like we've got these duties. By the end of the day, we're sometimes too tired to put our energy into ourselves or our loved ones and the things that really matter. And I think last year really started to ask us to reevaluate, what's important. Put our energy where it's really important, where it really matters. Stop wasting it all on the things that aren't. I'm actually getting this reading done during the day, which is amazing. It's been the first time I've managed to find the time to do this while it's still daylight. It'll take a few hours to go up onto YouTube because it always does. It's right around noon right now, so it should be up on YouTube by evening anyway. Last time I did a reading, it took like 18 hours. Hopefully it won't take that long. Usually it's about 3 to 4, but it will definitely be up in time for Saturday's full moon. I hope everybody's doing well. I know, I'm really feeling the urge for spring. Really, really, really feeling the urge for longer days and warmth and flowers blooming and all those things that spring embodies. We're close. We're really close. Of course, my favorite season is summer, but spring's always that hope. that hope for me, because I know it's just, summer is right around the corner. It never lasts long enough for me. But I really love that lush, beautiful season. Alright, so let's see what the second card is. The Hermited card. And it's upright, so it's quite deliberate. It's going on. So yeah, we've all been a little hermited. Things aren't opened up. We have places like Walmart and big corporations that are open up to full capacity, but our small businesses still aren't. There isn't as much to do. The movie theaters aren't open. There's a lot of, shows are closed down. Concerts haven't happened. People have been asked to stay away from each other and family. Stay away from your family, but you can go to Walmart. Don't have groups more than 10, but you can go to Walmart where they can fit like 200 people in there. And we're all feeling that. We're all feeling that. Feeling a little hermited, feeling a little disconnected, really wanting to break out of that. Be careful with this hermited energy to not let it drive you crazy or wound you like it is here. I know it's really hard, and a lot of people are really suffering during this time because they don't necessarily have people living in their houses. They don't necessarily have family that they can go visit. It's really hard on the elderly. I know in my community, every morning if you drove past McDonald's or if you went into McDonald's, the elderly community was all there together, having coffee, having breakfast, doing their social activities. It It was really kind of nice, and you haven't been able to dine in McDonald's for a year now. So where does it leave the elderly who don't really have a lot of family and people around them, and they counted on those types of social situations? It's really it's been difficult, hasn't it? It really has, and for some people they're really suffering. It's been more difficult on some than others. And so let's try to remember to pick up the phone, and if you know people that don't have a lot of people in their life, give them a call, check in on them, take good care of ourselves mentally as well, because just the lack of being able to go out and do activities the way that we had been used to doing up until about a year ago can start to really drain, mess with us. So extra care. Reach out to people, pick up the phone, make a phone call. Today we can Zoom with people. And remember that if people are close to you, people need physical contact. We're not meant to be in a box by ourselves. Even those that like the hermit energy, like me. I'm often quite hermited. It's good for me. It's very nurturing and soothing to me. I have always required probably more alone time than most people that I know. I require it. I need it. It rejuvenates me. But there's still times that I need other things. So even if we tend to like this hermited energy, really can't be a hermit all the time. So let's take good care of ourselves emotionally and mentally and physically, and reach out to people and keep contact, and get out and go for walks, and yes, see people. It's important. It really is important to still see people and do things. And if you know of people that are highly hermited, reach out to them. Okay. So, let's move on to the third card. Creating something beautiful, taking good care of ourselves, and reaching out to other people to help them during these times, these very, very trying times. I just said to my sister the other day, if, I'm on, my nerves are about spent from this whole thing. And, I don't want to say they're spent, but I will say that I'm highly irritated. And easier than usual, which, I'm a pretty fiery person, so that can happen quick anyway. But I was just saying to my sister, if people can't hear me ticking right now, they've got to be deaf. Because I'm ticking. I am ready for life. I think a lot of us are. I think, enough's enough already. And we're all feeling that. So that Hermit card, that, that coming up, that damaging piece of the Hermit card, that's not surprising. It's not surprising. We're a year into this. We're a year into having our freedoms pretty much taken away from us. Really. I mean, let's just call it what it is. And yeah, it's starting to wear on people. It's starting to wear people down. It really is. So extra self-care. Focus on building a beautiful life. Take care of ourselves. I always say that, right? Then I should shuffle more. I always say, okay, we're close. And then I shuffle more. Yeah. I had forgotten to put the heat on in this room before I came in, and I gotta tell you, it's a little chilly. It's a little chilly. My hands are cold. You can probably hear the heater. Got it cranked up high. I should have done this a while ago. I just wasn't thinking. We've had some things going on within my family where it's kept my head and my thoughts in those places rather than on simple things like turning the heat on before a tarot reading. Alright. I feel like that's it. Let's see. And we're back to the wands again. Really is about the journey today, huh? Taking care of ourselves in the journey. So if you look at that card, it's pretty cool, huh? So there's a little bit of life in all of these wands, right? And then there's life here. You see the bloom right here, right? It's bloomed beautifully, if you can see. But there's just a little bit of life here. Not as much. Kind of self-explanatory, right? Yeah. So really it's time to focus on this. It's really time to focus on how we can bloom our lives into something really beautiful. Like earlier, the simplicity, that's what we want. This is what we want, that simplicity, that beauty, that really beautiful, simple life. And then we have this here. So we're being supported. The energy is supporting us to work towards that. We can work towards this. You know, we can. But we have to do it ourselves. We have to stand up and make the choices that can help get us to this place that we want to be. You know, and it's not about being a leader and having all kinds of stuff while nobody else does, right? And it's not about not having much and worshiping that does. It's really about creating a support system within ourselves and within our lives, reaching for those higher goals and knowing that we can attain them, right? Because we can. We just have to work a little for it, figure out what it is that we really want, stand for what we believe in. You know, don't waver. Don't waver. If it's what you really, really want, stick to it and move forward with that. It's always attainable to have something better, to make your life fuller, to feel happy inside. It's attainable. We do have to do the work to get there. And you know, a lot of times getting here means pulling in these other people because it's feeding that whole community, you know, your community. It's you know how when you sit around with your friends and you all have like this like mind, so say you're all entrepreneurs or whatever, and you all talk about that, you feed each other's energy, and all of this information kind of flows, and the next thing you know, you've got an inspired thought, and you're kind of following that, and that works out. And then you guys all sit and talk again together, and you build. You kind of all build off of each other, right? You build each other up, you get each other excited, and then everybody starts implementing their plans. It's like that within families. It's like that, you know, the relationships that you have. build your family up, build yourself up, they build you up, you build something beautiful. Your community, your like minds, you know, if you've got other people that you can connect with that are wanting the same things that you are, connecting with them and talking and exchanging that information, sometimes those ideas just help things flourish so much faster. So keep working on building what it is that you're wanting to build. Know that there are people out there, that will be support systems for you. And you can be a support system for them. It's kind of what we do here. My kids and I, we all get together sometimes. We talk about what it is that we want, what we're wanting, and how we want to implement that, and troubleshoot with each other, and it's it really does build you up and builds those relationships up as well. So yeah, let's keep working towards that beautiful place. It's attainable. It's always attainable. You just can't give up on it. All right, so let's see what our positive affirmation is. I think that was a pretty positive, reading, really. You know, we're just going to remember to keep doing the work. All of the work. There's a little bit of life in the wands, you know. There's a bunch of little wands, a little bit of life in all of them, but we really can get to that beautiful space. So now, I shuffled these up before I sat down too, just to kind of get a running start on them. Now let's get our positive affirmation from the Dolphin Mermaid deck. I tell you, I took these out of the box and they're cold. It's cold in here. My hands are freezing. It's okay. The reading's almost over. I'll go hover the wood stove, warm myself up, run my hands under warm water. I feel like we're there. Let's take a card off the top. Accept heaven's help. You've prayed for help, so get out of the way and let heaven help you. I was saying earlier that where the Virgo moon is, the moon is in Virgo, the full moon is in Virgo. And Virgo is that very intuitive, that very feminine energy, right? So let's listen. Let's listen. Accept heaven's help. So we've asked for help, we've prayed for help. Now let's kind of move ourselves back and listen so that heaven can actually, so that our prayers can actually be seen. We can follow that bread. I always say it's the breadcrumbs, you know, we follow the breadcrumbs. And we pray, we talk to our God and our angels and all our spiritual team, and then we tap in and we listen, and then we follow the trails. So yeah, let's get out of the way a little bit, slow down, listen. It's a good time for reflection, the things that we're wanting. It's always a good time for that. So yeah, let's do that. Let's get out of the way. Let heaven help us. We've prayed. Let's get out of the way. Let's remember to keep doing the work. Do the work to attain our goals. Take care of ourselves. It's been a difficult year. Reach out to the people that may not have as many people in their lives. Watch that hermited energy, really self-care. And keep moving towards that beautiful space that we want, that we feel. We feel we want it. Can feel it inside. Let's keep working to attain that. Let's dream big. Let's dream big. All right, guys, until next time, I hope that you enjoy these last few days of February. March is right around the corner, and I'll see you again for the new moon. All right, take care.